Welcome on. My next guest is the greatest hurler the West and possibly the country has ever seen. He helped Galway bring the Liam McCarthy Cup home after 29 long years, and his skill on the pitch earned him the Hurler of the Year award. Have a little look at this.
Joe Canning causing the problems. Joe Canning into the back of the net.
Down goes Joe Canning. What a start!
The pressure of the entire County Galway on his shoulders. He's got it right. He's put it over the bar.
Oh, brilliant catch! What a goal!
Galway looking for another one. It's Canning once again, firing it in from near the sideline. It's a miracle shot. It's gone over the bar.
Joe Canning puts it straight between the posts. Galway are the All-Ireland champions 2017. Joe Canning, who has served his county well, finally wins an All-Ireland medal.
Would you welcome, please, Joe Canning?
Wish I was on that M17, stone walls and the grass is green. I wish I was on that M17.
Much to discuss. All Ireland wins. Toy show, maybe, but of course, and your recent trip to Syria. We'll get to all of the above. Let me ask you about 2008. When you burst onto the scene, and that scoreline, that 2-12 of a 2-15 total for Galway that day.
Yeah.
You can reflect on that now. Was it a double-edged sword?
Yeah, I think so. I've spoken about it before, that it probably put more expectation on me than I realised at the time. I was 19 years of age, and as a 19-year-old, you probably thought you were invincible in a way, and you could do it every day. But I suppose when we weren't winning then, coming like for the next couple of years, it felt like to me when we weren't winning that maybe I was expected to score the 2-12 every day.
Yes.
I went out and it's obviously not as easy as that.
Did you feel that weight, Joe? That
yeah,
weight
I did.
Of expectation?
Yeah.
And where was it coming from?
Did.
The pressure?
It was probably coming from media and just supporters, and hear it in the crowd even. Do you know, if things don't go right in the day, it's normally, do you know, well, why didn't you do that or why didn't you score? So. But that's life.
Why didn't you do what you did that time? Is it that sort of thing?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's fine too. You learn to kind of live with it in a way, but the good days are good, but the bad days are obviously worse.
But the pressure was early and often, in the sense that it was ramped up. Wasn't your face on the side of the bus? I mean, there was things that it strikes me, not knowing you, but reading about you, that wouldn't be kind of your bag necessarily.
No, I was very uncomfortable with that.
Yeah. Why?
Your face is on the side of a bus and it's driving around Ireland.
Some people would love that.
No, it's not the thing to have, I'm afraid. It just added more to it. Do you know what I mean? It added on the pressure and stuff like that. So, like if I was asked, could it go on the bus? I'd tell them no. Do you know? But yeah, it just added a bit more pressure. When you look at the hard losses, 2012, 2015, and it must have been a part of you thinking down through the years, am I ever going to crack this nut? I mean, did you ever feel that it was beyond reach? Yeah, you always did. You always had doubts. I think anybody that tells you, like, you know, it'd be easy for me to say now after winning it this year that I always knew it was going to come. But no, you definitely had doubts that you thought maybe never, because, like, Ollie, my brother, lost 2 All-Irelands as well. And looking at him that hurled for 14, 15 years at Galway, and he didn't win it. So it was always there in my mind that. But it wouldn't have defined me, do you know? I don't see hurling as my first thing. I see myself as a family person, and that's what my family see me as. Just, they see me as Joseph more so than Joe. So, yeah, hurling doesn't define who I am, and it defines me to other people. But for me, I feel uncomfortable a little bit with it when they call me Joe Canning the hurler or anything like that. Do you really? Yeah, I find that extraordinary, because you have an iconic status that you probably don't particularly like hearing about. But that's your fault for being so good. I'm an amateur at the end of the day. I'm not a professional. You say that, but you're still out performing, for want of a better word, in front of 80,000 people and getting all that support and cheering. Whether you like it or not, there's a lot of adulation and respect for you. Yeah, I suppose that's part and parcel of it. But at the end of the day, it doesn't put bread on the table for me. Do you know what I mean? It's not my job, and I have other things to do during the day. What is your job? We've a hurley business at home, and Canning Hurleys, and then I'm part of a restaurant, Camille Thai in Limerick as well. So Camille, I know it well. A lot of people in Dublin probably know it. We have it in Limerick now. So. And are you hands-on on both? Yeah, mostly during the week I'm kind of down with the Hurleys, and at the kind of weekends whenever I can, then down in Limerick. So yeah, mix between both, and I'm kind of, you're almost your own boss, I suppose, between both, and you try and fit into hurling wherever you can then in between that. But it's good. It's a good balance.
And you're okay with that idea of having to, I always find it kind of head-wrecking in the sense that you go out, All-Ireland final, 80,000 people, Croke Park, and then a week later you're back in Camille in Limerick, or the Hurleys.
Yeah.
It must be quite a strange parallel universe to live in.
It is and it isn't. I think it brings you back down to earth straight away after
that's for sure.
certain wins or certain losses. Like even last year, I remember my nephew Jody pretending to be TJ Reid after we got hammered by Kilkenny in the Leinster final, and he was out in the lawn pretending to be him. So that certainly brought me back down to earth fairly quick.
Didn't take long, did it?
No, not really. So when you have that, when you can go straight back into that kind of a thing, it's always good. And he was only messing with me anyway, so it put a smile on my face, you know.
Yes, and you don't look at, say, other disciplines like rugby and see the lads making very good money doing pretty much the same thing, but under different circumstances.
Yeah, I'd love to be professional, definitely, 100%. I'd love to do it every day and get up in the morning and practice it, but that's just the way it is. To be honest, I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't like to see it going down that road, because I think it would lose a lot of kind of our heritage in Ireland especially, and professionalism for GA. I don't think it wouldn't sit right with me, you know, especially for our games, and I think you'd lose the community spirit over it, I think, most of it.
So it is what it is, and that's where you're at. Can we go back to the All-Ireland final day, if you don't mind? Because, as I said, I mentioned the two finals that didn't go so well, and suddenly you find yourself walking out onto the pitch. Where were you, head-wise, going out that afternoon?
Kind of calm enough, I suppose. Yeah, it was weird. I suppose we were there twice before, and it was we had that experience, I suppose, from it. Coming into the final, there wasn't as much hype. I think a lot of it, unfortunately, had to do with the passing of Tony Keady, that the county was a little bit sombre at the time, and put things into perspective, and that was a huge loss. So I think we realised that obviously there was more important things than just winning the match, but we wanted to win it to pay respect to him as well and his family. So I think we were a little bit more calm coming into it than other years. It's a bit of a weird thing to say, and it's very unfortunate, but that's the way it kind of felt.
And strangely, it worked out maybe for that very reason and for the right reasons. Who knows? When that final whistle blew, can I ask you how that what that sounded like for you?
Just relief.
Was that it?
Yeah, it was just like a pressure valve.
Not ecstasy or acceleration.
Yeah, you went a bit mad for a few seconds. All right, and you saw on the video they were running around and stuff like that. But
relief.
Relief, yeah, because there was a lot of pressure. It was 29 years, and people still think that Galway is a traditional county for winning All Irelands. This is only our 5th ever All Ireland, so. I know we've won lots of minors and 21s in the last number of years and haven't transferred that onto senior, but at the same time, we're not a traditional county for winning All Ireland. We don't have the 30 or 32, 33 that the Corks, Kilkennys, Tipperary's have.
But perception is different, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, and people lose reality fairly quickly in this day and age. You know?
I'm just curious with that word relief. Was it relief for you, for Joe Canning, or Joseph Canning, as you're known at home? Was it relief for your the Galway as a county?
It was just, Galway.
Was that what it was?
Yeah, I think it was just the west of Ireland, I think.
Yeah, the whole west of Ireland.
Yeah, because it's hard enough. You know, we don't win too much out there. So, I think it was. I think you could see after there was pictures of people crying, old people crying in the stand and stuff like that, and it just meant so much to everybody. You know?
It took you ages, didn't it, get back to the dressing room that day?
Yeah, it took me a while, all right. Yeah. We took our time out.
Did you enjoy that, though? I mean,
I did,
I know you don't like from too many of the trappings of it, but you allowed yourself a bit of it that day.
That was the best part of it, just after the match. I didn't enjoy the night, to be honest.
Why not?
I was in bed at 1:30. It was just...
selfie attack?
In a way, but there was so many people there. We're in the City West, and there could have been 2,000 or 3,000 people there.
Yeah.
And in those moments, you want to be with your teammates and the guys that you trained all year with, and your family and friends. Whereas I couldn't see any of them because it was so big and so vast and so many people. So I went off to bed at 1:30. Yeah.
So those moments on the pitch afterwards,
they're the most special.
The golden.
Anybody tell you that? Yeah, they're the most special.
There's a picture. Obviously, your folks would have been thrilled about what happened, and we've got this picture that everyone got quite confused about, because that's you with your mother, right? Hugging you. And everyone said, and look at his poor dad is a wreck. That's not your dad.
No.
And everyone, that's just a man from Galway who's just thrilled at what happened. I don't know the poor man's name. We'll find out next week, no doubt. But he's absolutely distraught with happiness.
I actually got presented with that at an award ceremony a couple of weeks ago, thinking that was my dad.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And
we do
I had to tell the story that's not my dad.
That's
Sorry,
great.
But,
and now we can clarify.
He's actually the other side of it.
That's it. If we flip that, let's have a look at you. There's your dad.
Yeah,
so that's a more realistic portrayal of what happened at home. You said that hurling's second, family first. Why is that? I mean, is that you're very close, clearly, as a family?
Yeah, I suppose I come from a big family. I'm the youngest. I have 5 brothers, 1 sister, and 16 nephews and nieces. So there's a good spread of us there. But yeah, it's. I suppose I was brought up that way.
Yeah.
Mum and Dad always brought us up in that vein. So we played a lot together at club level as well, and won a lot at club level. So that kind of brought us a lot closer together as well. But. Did
you get a bit of a fright in 2015 when your parents were ill?
Yeah, for sure.
Can you tell us what happened, or how
Mum got breast cancer in 2015. Dad had prostate then about 2 years later.
And what did that do to you?
It just put things in perspective. When you're a sports person and you're in like an environment that's so cutthroat and stuff, you're in a bubble the whole time, and you kind of lose sight of what's really important, and you lose perspective on things that's really important in your life. And it's a little bit embarrassing to say, but that's the truth. So you kind of take things for granted, you know, even just spending time with them and stuff like that, and it really brought it back to home, you know.
You changed your view of things then?
Yeah, like I'd be close enough to Mum, but she's Josephine, I'm Joseph, and the baby spoiled rotten. So,
are you still spoiled rotten, Joe?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
You're very quick to admit it, which is admirable in itself.
They'd tell me if I went home.
Exactly. Yeah,
I didn't admit it. They give it to me. But,
and is it true that she sews miraculous medals into the back of your shorts?
Yeah, she does the odd time. Whenever I get one. Yeah, it's crazy the stuff that goes on in Galway. I remember walking down Shop Street. I think it was the week before the All Ireland, and some guy stopped me and said, "Best luck," and here you go. And I had the blue ribbon on it and stuff, but she takes that out and just sews it into the back of the shorts. Yeah. So. And
did you have a medal in your shorts on All Ireland Sunday?
I did. Yeah.
There you go, lads.
Well, I've had it in that we've lost as well. So.
Okay, that's well balanced. Listen, you've returned from a trip to Syria with UNICEF, Joe. Yes. I want to ask you a little bit about that, because it's a place that we see in headlines, but I don't think we quite get under the skin of. You did. What did you find there? Yeah,
it's... So last year I went to Gaziantep in Turkey-Syrian borders. So we visited refugee camps. So we visited people that were lucky enough, I suppose, to escape the war. And this year we were lucky enough, only 2 weeks ago, I suppose, to go in and actually visit the people that weren't lucky enough to escape the war. And like it's just devastation. It's almost like a movie set.
Look at it there.
It's really hard to comprehend that that's reality.
Yes.
Like that's only a couple of hours in a plane away from here.
What struck you about the children that you met on the streets?
I think the resilience of them.
Yeah.
Like, it's inspiring because they're living in that situation, but they have hopes and dreams of becoming doctors, teachers, you name it.
Yeah.
And I suppose it's through the work that we do. I've witnessed it firsthand, obviously, the work that UNICEF do on the ground, and it's small things that we take for granted, like education, like clean running water, like even just like I was in a school where the kids were fully clothed, hats, scarves, and just trying to stay warm, and I was absolutely freezing, and I had a massive jacket on me.
Yeah.
And I was freezing, and like it's only going to get worse during the winter as well, because you know, those kids will. It's very harsh conditions over there.
You met
Sorry, go on.
You met a girl, a little child, that
Noor, yeah.
Noor, who had been saved from the rubble of a bomb.
Yeah, so her area was shelled and bombed, and a soldier found her in the rubble. She had a broken leg. She was brought to an orphanage that is supported by UNICEF, and nobody has come for her. So this was last December. She couldn't speak. The only thing she could cry was mama and dada and nothing else. And for a long time, she kept herself away from everybody.
She's traumatised.
Yeah, physically, mentally. Nobody will know what age she is. They're guessing she's about 3.5 now. She'll never know who her family was. She'll never know what age she was. She won't be able to celebrate her birthday on any day. Like, imagine growing up at... Like, I have nieces that are... Lily and Iola that are 3 and 4 at home, and I can't imagine them growing up in a couple of years' time and not knowing when their birthday is.
It's cruel. It's cruel.
It's pretty mad. But she's coming out of her shell now in the last number of months. Through the work that they do, she's starting to play with other kids and stuff like that, and it's brilliant to see. And like, if we can change in small way like that, that's all the better, you know.
She stayed with you, didn't she, as a story, I can tell.
Yeah. It was, it's just because, as I said, I have nieces and nephews at home, so I can relate to what her age is.
And
you know?
You're hoping that people might donate.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
if they can.
I find it funny, right? I've had lots of people kind of say, gee, you're a great man for going to Syria, fair play to you, well done, it really inspired me. And my question to them is then, well, did you go on unicef.ie and donate? And they're kind of, look, oh, I'm going to do that the next day.
Yeah.
So we're very good in Ireland to kind of...
Slap the back.
But that's no good to me. I want to make a change by people actually donating and helping these people, because they're the same as anybody else. They will have opportunities if we support them, because we don't need a lost generation, and that's what it's coming to. It's like the largest humanitarian crisis since World War II.
OK, well, I'll give some details now.
It's crazy, yeah.
Joe, thanks for coming in to see us tonight. Congratulations on your personal success, and I hope your folks are well and you have a lovely Christmas.
Thank you.
Joe Canning, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks, Joe. And if you'd like to donate to the children of Syria, please, as Joe was saying, head to unicef.ie. Did you like Ed Sheeran earlier on, ladies and gentlemen? Well, we promised he'd be